Hey everyone, so I'm gonna do a quick little video to talk about how you can start to create higher quality Infraworks models using some of the data that you've collected through the drone capture process. For the example I'm going to do for this is going to be the landfill site that several of you are looking at in the Chattanooga area. If you look at this data set here, this is the basically the DSM, but when you download it from Drone Deploy, it's called Elevation Toolbox. There's a lot of these little areas in the tree canopy where the data set just has a very strange and unrealistic quality to it, where it's trying to basically model the trees, but it doesn't know how. And unfortunately, this is one of those things, those artifacts from the drone flying process where it just doesn't quite know how to actually correctly model this stuff here. And so, in all honesty, the best way to utilize this data is to, quite frankly, not utilize it. There's some things about it that just don't work or aren't actually going to be helpful in terms of using it for your studio projects. The most useful thing that came out of the whole drone process, quite frankly, is just the high-res aerial image that you've been using for the project already. So I would encourage everyone who wants to utilize this to just simply combine this information with the LIDAR data set that you can download, that I've provided for you all, and creating high quality DEMs from that. And so what we're going to do is, in this little quick video, is basically show how you can take this image here and put that into a model using this data set right there. One thing I will do first is I'm going to resample this image. Right now it's a super high quality image, but I want to do something to it, which is I want to make it look a bit nicer. So what I'll do is I'll just go to actually just right click on this, go to data, export raster. And what I'm going to just do is just export this out as another TIFF. So I'll call this Chattanooga landfill site. We'll call this one edit.tiff. And then right here in cell size, we're going to change this to a bigger number. So right now it's 0.05. And this data set here, I believe, is in feet. So that's 0.05 feet. So let's just make that, let's call it 0.25, and over here let's do 0.25. Whoops, that's really messy. There we go. And basically what we're going to create is a raster with a cell size of 0.25 feet, or 3 inches by 3 inches. So it's going to be still pretty high resolution, but not to the resolution that it was before. So with that set, we just hit export. And then when it's done, you have a new image here that we can use for our purposes. And so same thing as if you have import image before, just go to symbology and then change the alpha channel to be a band for alpha channel. So the reason why I want to make a low res copy of this is because I actually want to go into Photoshop. So I'm just open Photoshop first. Oops. Photoshop. And then in Photoshop, we're just going to open the TIFF we just created. So I'm going to go into my folder where I saved that TIFF. So this one right here, this landfill site edit. So open that guy. And then this is what we get. So what I want to do is edit this image so that it just has a bit more color and vibrancy to it. Unfortunately, because when we went out to take this drone footage, because we took it near the noon time of the day, the image is kind of overexposed and doesn't have much color or vibrancy to it. So all I'm going to do is basically just go into Photoshop, go to Image, Adjustments, Vibrance, and just increase the vibrancy by maybe 60, and then increase the saturation by, say, like 50, like so. And that improves just the overall look and feel of the image just a bit more, so it's not as gray and sad looking. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to save it. Then right now it says you can't save it because the file is already used or left open by another application. What that means is actually in GIS right here, it's being open. So we're just going to remove it. I'm going to hit delete on the keyboard. And now we should be able to save it. And it should have saved. So now we can close out of this, go back into GIS, then add it back into our map. So it should be right here, landfill site edit.tiff. And then we add it. And then what we'll do is, I'm not sure. Oh, but there we go. Yeah, it took the color is there. I'm not sure why the color is not showing up, but you know, if I zoom into it, you can see that the vibrancy shows up. It must be some kind of weird memory issue where at some larger scale, or actually it might be with the pyramids. Don't worry about it. It worked. If I zoom in here, you see that the color is there. So with that all set up, then basically the only thing we need is the LIDAR DSM. So the DEM. So now you have that here, and then basically what we'll do is we'll create an Infraworks model using this image and that. Another thing that you should probably think about creating as well is you know, taking this high-res 2020 imagery that I give you, and then you know, follow some of the older tutorials that I gave when we were working in Montgomery about how to take, you know, this image here, which does not provide any method of downloading it, but you can create your own high-res aerial image just by using the method that I showed you in the past. So basically what you do is you go to a layout view like so, and then, you know, make sure that the layout page size is really large. So in this case, it's like a 36 by 48 page size, and then just export that out. So in this case, I'll just export as a PNG, and then just give it a name. We'll call this one, yeah, layout's fine, doesn't really matter. So hit export. And then when I finish exports, we just simply go into the map here and then add it into the map. So I'm just going to drag it in. When it says, do you want pyramids? Say yes. So add that in. And then when it's added in, it should pop up in your contents there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to georeference it. So click on the layer there and then go to imagery, georeference. And then what we're going to do is we're basically going to choose this button called fit to display. And that's going to you know, fit the map to the extent that you have on your screen. And then if you remember this, we just use this auto georeference button. So click on that. And then it's going to auto fit it. And then once it's georeferenced, you just hit save. And then close georeference. And then basically what you do is you take the image, go to right click on it, go to data, export raster, and then choose, give it a name, the output raster data set. We'll call this one Chattanooga landfill. HR ortho, high-res ortho. Make sure you put the .tiff extension after that. Then everything else should be fine. Just hit export. Okay, then when it's finished, it should automatically add to your app. There it goes. And then what we're gonna do is we go into Infraworks, and then we can just create a new model. So I'll hit new. Give a name, call this Chattanooga landfill site. Make sure you have it saved locally, and then the coordinate system here, save it to in the case of Tennessee 83 East, or TN 83F, which is Tennessee 83 feet coordinate system, and then choose define model extend, load extent from file. And then we're going to choose that image we just created. You don't have to do this step, but it just makes it so that when we create the model, it knows how large of a model we need to create. So we'll just go in here, and then we'll find the area we just created, which was this one right here, Chattanooga landfill HR ortho. So click on that guy, and then hit OK. and then it should start creating a model. And then once the model is created, now we can start adding our data. So let's first add the high-res ortho. So go to add data, raster, and then go to the location of the file. And we'll choose the landfill HR ortho. So hit that and hit open, and then double click on that guy to configure it, and it should just configure automatically. So we add that guy in. So now we have the landfill site, but we don't have any topography. So to create the topography, we just go to raster, and I'm going to add the Chattanooga DEM that I created earlier. So choose that, hit open, configure that. If it doesn't have coordinate system, just choose the coordinate system of the data set that we created. So in this case, TN83F. Then once that loads, now you can see that the 3D information has now projected correctly. And then now finally we can add the drone image. So that is going to be this one right here, landfill site edit. And there it is. So one thing you'll notice is that it does keep the alpha channels. To remove that, you just double click on it to configure, go to raster, in band mapping, choose RGB alpha, and then it automatically adds the alpha channel in. So just click close and refresh. And there we go. It should remove it. So now you have a nice overall model of your site, but you get the benefit of having a cleaner base. You get the benefit of the LIDAR topography, which in this case removes all the trees, so you can have a cleaner base to work with. And lastly, you have the benefit of having the high-res drone imagery that we took when we went out there. So you kind of combine the best of all the worlds together. And then you can obviously look at this and say to yourself, okay, well, you know, it looks nice here, but there's a little bit of disconnect between this image and the context imagery. So then what you can do is you can you can go to Photoshop, you can find the landfill HR ortho, drag that in. So the same process that we just did, but in this time we're going to use the this ortho. Then just simply go to adjustments, vibrance, increase it by, you know, a few numbers. Maybe this one we don't need to go too far. Maybe something like that. Hit OK. Hit save. Save. Oh, that thing happened again. So yeah, just go back in here, remove it from GIS. There we go. Remove this one too. We don't need that. And then save that now. Hit save. Then when it finishes saving, then you go back into Infraworks, and then refresh. Just all you do is just refresh this link. And there you go. So now the colors of everything is just a lot more vibrant and colorful, so it's just a little bit nicer of a base to work with. So that is how I might recommend you guys take the drone stuff and use it to create some nice looking base models for your studio site. That's it.